Welcome to the 286th episode of the Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today, we are recording on May 29th, 2022. Where does the time go? My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com, and 50% of this here show with me is the man who prefers his fruit on the bottom, Carlos Rodella.
Wait, I don't know what that means at all.
You said you were having yogurt today.
Oh, that's true. The fruit is at the bottom.
There you go. Boom. Connection. It's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, except for you had yogurt.
Listen, I'm telling you, everybody needs to check out. I don't know if it's everywhere available, but Elenos yogurt.
Oh, I've had that. Yeah. Are they local? I don't know
They're
if they're
local.
local.
They're 100% local. Yeah,
okay.
But I think they might. I'm not sure if they rolled them out nationwide or not, but the key lime pie yogurt.
That's like their best one.
It's their best one, like hands down.
It's a Greek yogurt company, folks, for people that don't know. It's a Greek yogurt.
And on the bottom, there's this lime flavor, and it's just amazing. They have these little crumbles that you put on the top.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And it's good for you. It's like the best thing. And me and my system that's like always like out of order.
All those probiotics and stuff.
Probiotics are really great for you. So, yes, I do like that.
All right, folks, we are here. We are recording, and it's a big show, really big show. Lots of stuff to talk about. I actually have a lot of housekeeping, and I know that Carlos has a few things, so I guess let's get to it. Folks, if you are a regular listener, you already know this. If you're a new listener, welcome. And we're about to let you know that Carlos and I share a virtual living space divided down the middle of the strip of duct tape. On my side, I've got maybe like 4 or 5 things. What do you got on your side, Carlos?
Yeah, a few things in one huge box that's almost like it's labeled "Do Not Open" because could cause controversy.
Do not open hazardous material.
Yeah. But the first thing I just mentioned really quickly that I just saw in passing, Bloodborne. We kept talking about it on the show and how I couldn't go back to it because it hurt my eyes.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I remember we talked about this maybe 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. Well, there's rumor that Blue Point is working on that revised version.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Which totally makes sense because, like I told you on the show, Demon's Souls is incredible looking and, like, I think better looking than Elden Ring. Easily.
I mean, dude, at this point, Blue Point doing a remaster of every Souls game, it's just like money on the table. Like, people will buy those like crazy. I don't know why it's taken so long.
Well, I'm sure they're working on it now. That's what I'm thinking is what I'm hearing from the grapevine. So that's cool. I mean, I'll finally get to play it for real.
I mean, have you never played through Bloodborne all the way? You probably haven't, huh?
Just the beginning of it, and then again, I got
Gosh, I don't know. I know a lot of people really like Bloodborne, and in fact, I know many people that's their favorite of the FromSoft games. I mean, I finished it. I went through the main campaign. I even finished the DLC, which I feel like has one of the hardest bosses FromSoft has ever done. And man, I just don't know if I've got it in me to play through it again. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm not like the biggest Bloodborne fan. I like parts of it, and the best part are the weapons which transform. Transforming weapons are badass, and those are great. I'd love to see more of those, but I just don't know if I got it in me to play through it again, man.
Well, again, you already beat it, so you don't need to.
Yeah.
But I think for like me, I probably will finish Demon's Souls at some point. I just had to take a break from Souls games, but I love the reimagining of it. And again, improved graphics really does help those types of games, I think.
Yeah. Well, and I'm with you, dude. I mean, like real talk, just laying it out on the table, I thought a lot of the stuff in Bloodborne looked like shit. Like, I'm kind of with you. Like, especially like the monsters and some of the weird hair textures and just overall, like, I kind of like the style, the motif of it, but like, honestly, I don't think it's a great looking game.
Well, we'll get a new one soon.
All right.
A couple of little light pieces of news. Ben Studios, who we love because we love Days Gone.
I love Ben Studios. Hell yeah.
They are not going to work on a Days Gone. The information that's coming out of, I guess, the grapevine, again, is that they're working on a new IP right now. Currently.
Okay.
So, but I think we're here for it, right?
I am absolutely here for Ben Studios. I love Ben Studios. I love almost everything they've put out. I love Days Gone, but you know what? Honestly, I'm fine if they leave it alone because I don't know what else you would do with that game that you didn't already do the first time. I loved it. Days Gone, absolutely one of my favorite open world titles of all time. Loved it. I definitely recommend it to everybody who hasn't played it. But, I mean, sometimes you tell the story and you do the thing and then you're good and you don't need to go back to it. So
Yeah,
I would be totally fine with a new IP.
especially because we played it on, talked about it on the show and did a spoiler cast, and that game went on forever.
That is a significantly substantial game. I mean, like 150 hours, something like that.
Yeah, and we were like, this is the end right now, remember? This is the end. Oh, no, it
We
isn't.
said that like 9 times, dude.
Yeah.
This has got to be nope. This is nope. Yeah, it
Here-
goes on forever.
Here's another 10-hour section.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that, but I'm really excited to see what it's going to be. And lastly, another grapevine news, which I guess we should just call this a section called the grapevine. Norma Reedus leaked that there's a Death Stranding 2 being
I
worked
heard
on.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
Did he leak it or was it like a tactical leak?
Yeah, he messed up. He did. I think he's done that a couple times now. He's
Has
like
he? I don't know.
kind
I
of
mean,
giving out information.
I don't know. Maybe it was a planned slip. It's he's an
Oh, I
actor.
see what you're
He can
saying.
fake things,
Yeah.
I accidentally mentioned this thing. Whoops, sorry.
And by the way, who doesn't think that he's working on something like that? I mean, it's not really that big of a thing, but
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I thought we were going to get more DLC for what's it called?
Death Stranding.
Death Stranding. I'm surprised we didn't get more. I know we got the director's cut, which was cool, and in fact, I really want to get back to it because I was fully planning on playing through that again. But I thought we'd get like more DLC, so I don't know. Maybe it's just moved on to the next thing.
Well, they're already working on it. That's what it sounds like. Norman was
I
like, "Oh yeah,
guess.
we already started working on it." So
The next Death Stranding DLC is Death Stranding 2. So
that's
just buy the
exactly
whole
it.
thing,
Yeah. All right, what boxes do you have? And I'll save that big, huge one for later.
Okay, sure. Just want to do a really quick wrap up on Citizen Sleeper. We talked about it like 2 weeks ago when you played it, and then last week I dove into it and I liked it a lot. I finished it a couple days ago, and I gotta say that game, incredible. I love that game so much. It is so good, and I'm not going to talk about it in depth. I'm actually writing a review for GameCritics.com right now. But wow, it was so good. It was like I just was really constantly impressed. The further I got into it, the more impressed I was, and I was just constantly surprised. And there was a couple moments where I was just like holding my breath, and then things were okay, and it was crazy. Citizen Sleeper is the fucking best. Absolutely one of the best games I played this year. I love it. And you're definitely going to be hearing more about this when we do our year-end discussion, for sure.
Wow. Yeah, I have to go back to it. It's that thing where like I'm not in the mood for that type of game right now,
Oh, yeah.
but I recognize its brilliance, and I really do like. The more I played it, I really do enjoy it a lot. So I will go back to it at some point, just not right now.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be in the headspace for it, right? I mean, I've seen a lot of people bounce off it, which is understandable. It's kind of like a visual novel. It's kind of like a board game. It's kind of like resource management. So like if you're not in the mood for like how this game is basically just like a series of menus, then you're not going to connect, right?
Yeah.
But if you're in the zone, man, that guy fucking just nailed it so hard. Like it is so good. It is amazingly good. Okay. Let's see. I watched a bunch of movies recently. I don't know about you, Carlos, but sometimes me and the wife get in this funk, and I mean with like the world, politics, life, like sometimes it just gets to be like a lot, right?
Oh yeah.
And I know that some people like listen to our podcast to kind of snap them out of it, and I'm really glad that we can do that for people. But I can't listen to my own podcast because I made it. And it doesn't have the same effect on me, right?
It doesn't.
Does not work that way. So what me and the wife do sometimes is like we'll just start watching like horror movies because for some reason, your heart gets pumping, the adrenaline gets going, you get scared, hopefully, and those horror movies are something that like mentally snap us out of it. And I've noticed that's really the only time that we really get into like a lot of horror movies. Like we'll watch a one-off here every now and again, but like we've been watching like 5, 6, 7, 8 horror movies like every night, and I'm like, man, like we just need that like mental break. So recently I watched Candyman, the original Candyman, and then the Jordan Peele remake. Are you familiar with these?
I know the old one, and I saw it a long time ago, and then I heard there was the new one. I forgot that it came out, so I haven't checked it out.
A lot of people, I feel weird because I feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable about horror movies, not an expert or anything. But I know horror, and I like horror a lot. And Candyman is one of those movies that like everybody talks about, but it fell through the cracks for me. I never had the time to watch it. Every time it came up, I was always doing something, or we always chose some other movie, or just whatever. And it's one of those ones where like you always want to go back, and like you're embarrassed you haven't seen it, right? So like I finally get to watch Candyman 1, and then I watched the Jordan Peele remake the next night. And I gotta say, like I expected them to be like a lot better. I don't think they're very good movies.
No, they're not. I mean, the first one no one ever said that. No one ever left the theater and said this is amazing.
They get name checked so often, and I hear about them so much. It's crazy to me because I thought they would be better. I don't think they're very good movies. I really don't. I think they're interesting, and I think the main problem with both Candyman 1 and the Jordan Peele remake is that they have too many ideas, and they don't really focus on just one or two, and everything feels very like undefined, and nothing really comes together in a very pointed way. Like it's like they want to talk about like like a horror slasher sort of thing. They kind of want to talk about like possession. They kind of want to talk about racism. They kind of want to talk about gentrification. They kind of want to just kind of, and they I don't feel like any of it ever really comes together in the old one
Mm.
or the new one. So I was very surprised. I guess I expected better. And man, that '90s one is like that is the most '90s ass movie that could ever be. Like the music, the
Yeah.
visuals. I mean, everybody in it was like just it was just like total head trip. I felt like I was living in like 1991 again. It
Dude,
was crazy.
some of those movies when they came out and we were in the 90s, we were like, this is so 90s.
Oh, dude,
We like just
totally.
knew it was this like of the era, you know what I mean?
Oh man, that is absolutely of that decade. So that is ridiculous. So Candyman 1 and 2. I'm glad I watched them, but like I expected better. Anyway, moving on, we did see a movie called Corporate Animals. It's on Shutter. I love Shutter. We didn't really talk about Shutter very much,
No,
but
it's a good
Shutter.
service for horror for
Oh, I
sure.
love Shutter.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's the parent company's AMC, but it's like the 100% horror channel. They've got so much good programming if you want horror stuff. They got documentaries, they've got series, they've got like short movies, they've got comedy. I mean, they've got like dude like everything. If you like horror, man, I love Shutter so much. But they have Corporate Animals. This stars that guy from what's the guy who played Andy on The Office? Oh gosh.
I don't know names of people in
Whatever.
the office, believe it
It's
or
a
not.
bunch. So you might want to check this out because this has a lot of SNL people on it. I didn't realize that when we started watching it, but as I was watching, I'm like, oh, I should tell Carlos about this. Basically, the story is a company owner, which ended up being Demi Moore, which was weird to see her after all these years. She takes her group to like the wilderness, and the guy who plays Andy Bernard in The Office, I forget what his name is. I apologize, Mister.
Oh, it's
But
Ed Helms.
Ed Helms, thank you. Yes. So he takes them out to like to go caving, like as a team building exercise, right? So they get inside the cave, of course, like cave in, and then they're trapped, and so it becomes like a single room experience where they're all like talking to each other, and there's no way out, and there's no rescue, and so they kind of like slowly go crazy. As you can imagine, like cannibalism comes up, and it was like it's a lot goofier than I'm describing it, but it was pretty funny, and it was pretty. It felt almost like an episode of The Office, but underground and with cannibalism. So it was
Mm.
worth watching, and I think you might get a kick out of it. It's pretty good.
By the way, this reminds me, I don't know what the name of it is. I'm trying to look it up, but I can't remember. There was a movie about corporate, like a corporation, and everybody in there had to like kill each other.
That movie, actually been a couple of those.
Okay.
And one of them, if you're thinking about the one I'm thinking of, which I cannot remember what it was called right now, but like it's the one where they built the building where the building had metal shutters and all the windows and doors and they locked everybody inside. Is that the one you're
Yeah,
thinking of?
that's the one I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that movie. Oh man, I feel like such an asshole for not remembering. That is one of my favorite movies of like the last 10 years. I fucking
Oh,
love that movie.
really?
It is
Okay. I saw the
so
trailer and I
good.
was like, because I just like what they're trying to say too. It feels like they're saying something in the movie as well.
Oh my god, that movie is the shit. It is so fucking. I'm gonna look it up when you're talking.
Okay.
I'm gonna Google
Well,
that
I'll
movie.
talk right now while you look it up because I was going to say,
Yeah, look it up. I'm gonna Google. Go ahead.
similar to what you've been talking about, why you and the wife jump into horror movies. Now you understand, kind of. That's like what I do for fantasy RPGs, right?
Oh,
Like,
I
so
get you.
the
Yeah.
world is insane, and I go instead of going to the horror genre, I jump to like a fantasy element where I can, control and make my character better, and just kind of live in this world where there's all new rules, right?
Yes.
And that's actually a good way to explain it. And like there's all new systems and there's not the same politics and it's a whole different world. And that's why I really do jump into those kind of
Oh
games.
yeah,
You
I
know?
totally get it, dude. Like you got to find that thing that just like gets your head in a different place and snaps you out of your funk. So
Yeah.
yeah, for you definitely RPGs. For me, I think it's like horror movies. Let me give a couple more quick shout outs here. While we were on Shutter, we also watched a brand new movie, or maybe like last year. It's called Tragedy Girls. Have you heard of this one?
No, but I know Final Girls. Have you ever seen that?
I've not. I don't even know what that one's about.
Write that down right now. And sorry
All right.
to segue. I won't even talk about it. Everybody go watch Final Girls.
Okay, I'm
It's
gonna write that down. Is it a horror movie or what
incredible.
is it?
It's a horror with comedy. But
Okay,
it's
I love horror comedy.
fucking incredible. Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
Tragedy Girls on Shutter. Also, it's about these two girls who laugh and just think about it. They want to increase their social media presence. They want more likes. They want more followers. They're on Instagram. They're on Twitter, and so they start killing people and then reporting on those killings to like get themselves known in social media circles. It's really dark. It is like pitch black dark. It's really bloody. It's kind of surprisingly bloody in a few places, and it's really funny. Like it is so absolutely on target about like how we live in social media, how likes and followers are so important, and these crazy metrics that we use to like measure our life. And it
Yeah.
was really good. It was really funny. I mean, don't go into it if you're not ready for like a really pitch black horror comedy, but it was excellent, really excellent. The final thing I want to call out for movies, it's on Netflix. It's called RRR. Have you heard of it? Three R's in a row.
I haven't.
It's from India. I somebody on Twitter mentioned it just real briefly, and it caught my attention. It is I feel like it's a 3+ hour epic movie from India that's set just after World War One, near the time of the Indian Revolution, where they were trying to become independent from Britain.
This doesn't sound like a horror movie.
It is not a horror movie. I
Oh,
segued.
okay.
Sorry, my
Sorry.
bad. My bad. It would be amazing if it was, but no, it didn't.
I was
I
really
should have
confused.
prefaced getting away from horror. But what it was the most balls out, fucking over the top action extravaganza with explosions and knife fights and bows and
Hmm.
arrows and motorcycle chases, and like it was like so fucking crazy over like at a scale of like 1 to 10. This is like a 14 on the like over the top scale. Like it was so beyond anything that we usually get. And on top of that, it was interesting because you got a real look at the cultural differences between America and India. Now, I'm not saying that this is a documentary. I'm sure that this is, just like big blockbuster entertainment, but at the same time, the core of the movie was about a friendship between these two guys. And that's what it was. It was kind of like a bromance movie where in America we would be all like squicked out and be like, "Oh, are these guys gay? What's going on? I can't handle this movie." But in this movie, they were like, "We're just fucking real best friends, and we cherish this friendship, and we're going to go through all of these things to be there for each other, in just like this friendship way." Like it was so fucking wholesome and cool.
Hmm.
And on top of that, I mean, just like over the top. There's like slow motion, bullet time, wild animals, like just blood. All I mean, it was just crazy. It was, and the craziest thing about it was like it's like a 3+ hour movie, and I can't stand movies that are more than like 90 minutes these days. Like me and my wife and my son, we sat down. We didn't budge for like the entire 3 hours. We just watched that thing all
Wow.
the way through, and that never happens anymore. Like usually we're like, okay, I watched half, we're good, or I'm gonna do something else, or
Yeah. Check
whatever.
the phone.
Yeah, check the phone. Like we were like glued to it like for the entire 3 hours. Now you gotta like Indian movies. If you don't like them, I mean, if you don't know you don't like them, I mean, give them a shot. But there's dancing, there's the
Oh, there's
Bollywood
always
musical number.
dancing.
There's always dancing,
Yes.
right? So there's music. So brace yourself for that. But I mean, just thought it was a really great movie. We really enjoyed it a lot. So it's on Netflix. RRR is what it's called. I thought it was fantastic.
The only movie that was like that long was Dune, the remake recently. And
Yeah,
I
Dune.
just sat right through that, didn't look at my phone at all. I loved it.
Yeah, Dune is pretty good too.
Before I leave horror movies, I just want to mention that I just finally started Stranger Things season 4
Oh yeah.
because it just dropped and was very excited. But I gotta say, oh, that's a line you say. Anyways, to copy or to quote Brad, I gotta say,
I gotta say.
you do say that all the time. So, anyways, I gotta say that it's really fucking dark. Like, I don't think they prepare people. And obviously, right now, I know you jumped into horror for the fantasy element, but right now there's a lot of dark stuff in the world. And so I kind of wanted Stranger Things to be my escape. And I wasn't thinking of it like you, escape for horror. I want as like escape for kind of 80s nostalgia,
Sure.
fantasy elements. And even season 3 was a pretty dark ending. I mean, won't spoil it, but it's like pretty rough, season three's ending. But most of the season still had those kind of like light touches. And while season 4 has some of them, it starts fucking dark. I mean, like literally first scene. And they actually had to put a like disclaimer on it.
Oh fuck, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they had to say like, "Hey, we didn't know that life was going to be so shitty and dark, and current events and stuff like that," without going into all of it.
Wow.
And so it's like they made it a while ago. They've been working on it for a while.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So then also, it's graphic as fuck sometimes, like way more than normal. Like I'll give you an example for people listening because you might not want to watch this season, but like somebody's bones get like all broken and stuff like that from a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like super realistic looking, and it just makes you cringe. Like I wouldn't watch that anyhow, like ever.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, anyways, it's rough, and then it starts to get better. I think I'm in episode 4 now, and it just feels more like a Stranger Things show now. But it starts really rough. So, just so people know, unless you're Brad and you want to jump into fantasy of horror, then it's probably great.
Yeah.
But I was
Yeah.
like not ready for that, man.
Well, that's interesting. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it in that way, but I will definitely put shields up for sure. So that's a good warning.
Shields,
So
yeah.
shields up.
Should I open this huge box that's
Wait.
controversy?
I got
Oh,
one more thing real quick,
okay.
and then let's open the box. I just want to give a big, giant, fucking thumbs down, a disgusted, angry thumbs down to FedEx. FedEx
Hmm?
sucks. FedEx can just go eat one, dude. Because the people around my area, I get a lot of packages for work and stuff. And like the FedEx people have just been not fucking delivering the goddamn packages. And I'm sorry, but if you work at FedEx, your job is to deliver fucking packages. That's what your fucking job is. So deliver the goddamn packages. I'll tell you what I mean.
Okay,
So
because
a
this is out
couple
of left field for me. I'm confused.
Yeah, this is super random. So like a while ago, I was expecting a box. I see the FedEx guy pull up. He walks up he walks halfway up to my house, and then he threw the box the rest of the way, and it crashed down on my porch. Luckily, nothing was broken. But I'm like, what the fuck? All you do is walk like 4 more steps. You could have just put it down on my fucking porch, right?
Hmm.
So I didn't say anything. I'm like, okay, maybe guy's going through a hard time. Who knows? I like whatever. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna let that slide because maybe guy's having a bad day or something. The same guy comes back like the next week, does the same fucking thing again, walks halfway to my house, fucking hucks it the rest of the way, and it crashes on my fucking porch again. So I call FedEx and I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, I could very easily at any time have some fragile shit coming, so they need to not fucking throw the goddamn boxes, right? And then after that, I get an email from a guy on eBay who I bought a thing from. And, like, I don't know if you do eBay, but if you do eBay, sometimes they send you an email. And they're like, hey, your thing has arrived. Your thing is delivered. Please go get it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I look at my front porch, nothing. I'm like, well, that's weird. I go look at my back porch because sometimes, they'll drop something off the back porch. I'm like, look at the back porch, nothing. I'm like, what the hell? And I double check the email. They're like, yeah, it's been delivered. It's there. And I'm like, okay, I don't see shit out here. So I'm checking the bushes. Sometimes maybe it fell off the steps or something. Maybe they put it behind the barbecue. I don't know. Like, who knows, right? So I'm looking all around. I go outside the back, go to the front. I don't see anything. Don't see anything. Don't see anything. I'm like, what the hell? I'm starting to freak out because like it's not something that's easily replaced. And so, well, my wife is like, you should just go walk around. Just go walk around and look. You never know, right? And I'm like, okay. I get on my shoes, go outside. It's it's on the sidewalk at the extreme edge of my yard, outside of my fence. Like the dude drove up on the street. He took one step out of the truck onto the sidewalk, and he put the box on the
Jeez.
sidewalk all the way in front of my house. It was nowhere near my house.
That's
And
enough
if
for
I
him. He's
yeah, like
tired.
if I don't know about you, and I don't know where people live, but in my area, we get a lot of package theft. Package theft is a real problem. And so for this asshole to drop it off on the sidewalk that's a mile away from my house in back of my fence that I can't see it's even out there, unacceptable, right? So like
Yeah.
I call him, I'm like, enough is enough. Any Yahoo could have walked by on the sidewalk and picked that box up, and I never would have been the wiser because it was nowhere near my house, right? So like I call him up, I complain about it, they're like, yeah, we'll take care of it, blah blah blah. Today, motherfucker drives up. He takes the box, gets out of the truck, one step out of the motherfucking truck. He takes the box and balances it on top of my fence, which is all the way down near the sidewalk. And it just sits there. If a strong
Awesome.
breeze had come by, if anybody who felt like stealing a box had come by, it's balancing on top of my fucking fence. It's not in my house. Your job is to deliver the fucking boxes to my fucking house. Deliver the goddamn boxes. And this is like the second time I've had to call FedEx and complain about it. And it's like, you've got one motherfucking job. Fucking do the job, okay? Like, if I was a doctor, I wouldn't like heal somebody halfway on accident. If I served you a burger, I wouldn't give you an empty bun with no beef patty inside of it. I would give you the whole burger. If you're delivering a fucking box, deliver the goddamn box.
Okay, first off, I feel like you need to have like one of those like comedy rom-com or movie moments with him and just be like, "Hey guy, what's going on?" Like just walk out there and be like,
Are you okay? Do
yeah,
you need a hug?
like what's going on? Like are you like you said earlier, like is do you have some issues or is your like legs hurting? I don't know what's going on. But I feel like if you did address it maybe like to the actual person, maybe it would get fixed. I don't know.
I mean, maybe, but
Because
Jesus Christ.
sometimes people they get in a routine. I'm not defending him, but I am saying this
I
is
hear
what
you.
happens.
No, I hear you.
People have a job and they do it a million hours a day and they're fucking sick of it and they hate it. So they find a routine to do the least possible work. Now that's still fucked up. You should just walk to the house. But I'm guessing that's probably what this jaded driver is going through. It's like, yeah, you know what? Everybody that just gets it right there. I just put it right there and then I go to the next thing.
Oh,
But if you asked him, I don't know, maybe. Let's see.
I mean, maybe he'd tell me to fuck off and mind my own business, or maybe he'd break
He
down in
could, but then
in
you
a
could.
pile and start crying. Maybe I'd have to get him a hot cocoa or something. Who knows? I don't
Wait,
know.
hold on. In the middle of that, because those are both extremes. He starts crying like a baby or tells you to fuck off. How about the middle? Is he goes, "Oh yeah, no problem, dude."
I mean,
Like
I don't know. I feel like if you're in the middle zone, like he wouldn't be an asshole to begin with. I feel like you should
I don't.
keep a lid on it. Anyway, I don't know what the deal is, but
It's still
like
bad.
fucking knock it off. Like this is other people's shit that they've paid for. They're expecting this stuff. If you don't like your job, I mean, I don't want to be that guy who's like, if you don't like your job, get another job, because I realize jobs are tough and people don't take care of their employees. Like I get it. I'm sensitive to that. But at the same time, you taking out your frustration is hurting my shit. Like you're
Yeah,
making me lose stuff, possibly damaging my stuff. I'm paying for this stuff. Like, you know, like don't hurt somebody else if you're hurting. You know what I mean? Like there's other ways to do this. So I want to be sensitive to this guy, but at the same time, he's pissing me the fuck off because he's fucking with my shit. So
I
like,
know. I know.
anyway,
And to your point, though, like if I worked at a fast food, which I did in the past, and you're, terrible to people, like that's terrible because they're paying you money to get like this fun little moment for them. So you're like wrecking their moment.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You're wrecking
yeah.
their food experience. And so, yeah. All right. Well, FedEx, do your job.
Do your goddamn job, FedEx. All right, what's the big box?
The big box, which I will now open, and there's a lot of tape and a lot of red tape. I think. I don't know if that works, but anyway, so recently I saw a discussion going by that I kind of related to, and I'll explain why in a minute. But the discussion on the Twitters and the YouTube, and I watched this great YouTube video about it that was actually like informative and not just like people yelling, was about Xbox Game Pass and its value. And also, like, I see a lot of people like dropping and like stopping their Game Pass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, I mean, that just happens with anybody.
Sure.
You're paying something for a while, and they kind of showed like pros and cons of having it, and I floated it out there on the internet, and you have it. I sent it to you on Twitter, and the baseline argument is that obviously if you play even one indie game from it, and not even based on like what types of games it has, if you play any like pretty affordable game, you've already like paid for the Game Pass, right? By like paying, playing a indie that would have cost you $15 and you
Yeah,
pay
yeah.
$10 or whatever.
It's a
So
pretty low price of entry for, if you look at it on paper, it's
yeah,
pretty hard to argue the value.
so I think that argument's not really like easy to or make like worth even going into. But my point that I thought an interesting side topic is that for me, and I think a lot of people, we do have too many monthly charges right now.
Oh yeah.
So if I played, like I'm going to talk about a game today on a Game Pass that I'm playing, but before that, I hadn't really played anything on Game Pass for maybe a month or so, right? So that month I could have saved me a little bit of money.
$15.
$15, but not, every penny's every penny. So then I think of that argument, which is kind of like, yeah, if it doesn't have anything that you're really looking forward to, it does make sense to maybe just pull back for a while.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then the other part is I miss like the idea that we keep doing these subscription services and PlayStation just upgraded theirs. It's just like to play devil's advocate and why we don't need them is I actually lament and remember going back to game stores, physical stores, and the excitement that brought. The anticipation and like looking at boxes and figuring out which one you're going to buy and then buying it. And also like selling back games. Do you remember that?
Oh, a long time ago, back when I was a wee child.
Well, I mean, no, but I feel like it was such a good experience because then it's talk about money saving.
Yeah.
Like I would play a bunch of games. I really enjoyed them. I'd bring them back to the store unless it's like Zelda or some big one that I'm going to keep forever. And then I would get new games from that. But the point is I would be buying them at point of purchase. I'd be like, okay, this is the time I want something. Now I want it. And this idea and this concept that's like floated to us so easily, we're so simply manipulated to be like, you guys just subscribe for everything now. And you never unsubscribe. Got it? Cool. Later.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my big not frustration or anything, but just like my point that I'd like to make is like, not only is Game Pass just like, I don't think they have like the huge titles that they were probably promising, but even with those indie games, I don't need a monthly charge of PlayStation and Xbox monthly, games.
Sure.
I think we should be buying games when we really want them. But right?
I think that's definitely a thing. And in a larger sense, I agree with you because I don't like how people in the business world finally figured out it's not about products, it's about services, right? Like when that switch got flipped, I think there was no going back from it. Like for example, we just bought my son a laptop, his very first laptop ever, because he just turned 13. And like when I bought a laptop or not, a desktop or whatever a million years ago, like it came with a bundle of software, like a physical bundle. There were some CDs
Yeah.
and some manuals, and you install your stuff or whatever. And this time there was nothing that came with it. Like he opens up and it's like, oh, if you want to use Word and PowerPoint or whatever spreadsheet things, he's like, you need to subscribe to the Microsoft service. And I'm like, oh my god, like it's like another subscription, right?
Yeah.
So like I don't like the idea that everything needs to be a subscription, because that's constant income for these companies, and that's where everything's at, right? Everything now, it's like game as service, business as service, service as service. Everything's a fucking service these days, which is a subscription. Which I agree with you. I don't want to subscribe to everything forever, because it's just like this drain on your resources, and you don't really like buy anything anymore. I agree with you for that. Also kind of a tangent, but with all the talk of like NFTs and bullshit, like NFTs are a scam. But one thing that I think is a concept that I think no one has really taken up is the idea, kind of piggybacking on what you said about selling games back, is if you buy a game electronically, if there was some way to say, I own this copy of this game electronically and I could give it to a friend when I was done with it, or if I could gift it to somebody, or if I could even sell it to somebody, and it was just an electronic copy, right? Like, we kind of skipped over that whole electronic ownership thing and went just into basically like eternal renting, where this is a license to use it, but you don't own it.
Right.
So, I mean, everybody's got these fucking stupid apes, and everybody's like ripping each other off about NFTs and stuff. But, if we really want to talk about a great application for that kind of a concept, I would love to go to Steam, buy whatever game on Steam, and, play that game. And then when I was done, I could, maybe I could sell it back to Steam at a discount, kind of like what we used to do back in the day with discs. Or at the very least, I would love to like send it to my son and be like, oh, I'm done with this game. Hey, son, you can have this game now. And it's removed from my library and it's added to his library.
Oh my
like,
goodness.
That to me
that's so
seems
perfect.
Like that's like a great idea. Like, why don't we do that? Something that would benefit humanity instead of these goddamn fucking money sucking scamming apes. Let's do something good with it.
Oh my goodness, that's such a good idea, and I'm so glad that our podcast came up with it. I mean, you did, but so
50%. I'll give you some proceeds.
Yeah, because I brought up like the premise that's started.
Absolutely.
But by the way, let's not call them NFTs though, because that has such a bad connotation.
Yes.
So how about this of a crazy idea? The digital copy. That's it.
The digital copy.
That's it. Like you have like, I just bought Horizon Zero Dawn digital.
A digital copy.
And then I go, I can't even just say space digital. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
Like just call it digital.
Yes,
and then
exactly.
you go, okay, hey Brad, I'm finished with Horizon. I know you can't afford it right now. Let's just say that.
Sure.
And it was $60. So yeah, what the fuck, bro? This should be a thing. And I go, hey Brad, play Horizon for the podcast, and I just give you the fucking digital version.
Exactly. Which is what we used to do all the time, dude. Like
we did all the time with discs.
Yes, all the time with discs. Give a disc to a friend, let a friend borrow a disc, sell a disc. And like when we were doing the early days of Game Critics podcast, we would literally get like games in the mail. Like I can't even remember the last time I've gotten a physical game in the mail. It's all codes these days. But when we got physical games for review, I would get the game and I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe I'll play this. Okay, oh, this wasn't my cup of tea. I'm going to give it to my other reviewer. And I just gave it to him. Like there was no like, oh, I cashed in the code and I can't use it now and I need another code and oh, this is the wrong code. Like just the idea that we don't own anything anymore. We gave that up so easily and we don't really push for that anymore. But I feel like that was a wrong turn we took.
Okay, that's it. That's going to be
all right.
We need to do something about that. I think, like, not even joking, like some sort of initiative after this podcast.
I agree, dude. I agree. Get rid of the apes. Let's focus on digital copies of games. Let's do that.
All right.
Just really quickly to close the loop, I looked up on Google that movie that we talked about a second ago.
Oh, yeah.
About the horror movie, the people get locked inside a building, which is fucking awesome. It's called The Belko Experiment, Belko.
Got it.
Oh, my God. What a fantastic movie. Absolute recommendation for me. Love that film.
I'm glad I remembered that it existed, and then you could tell me the name.
Oh, man. So good. Okay. I'm done with housekeeping. Got any more housekeeping?
No, let's probably talk about games.
Let's talk about games. All right, Carlos, we're going to turn it over to you to start off the main portion of the show. Golfie, Golfie. We got a code for the purpose of talking about on this podcast, which you are about to do right now. All I know is it's a roguelike golf game. I don't know anything else about it. So why don't you fill us in on Golfie?
Yeah, there's so many golf games out there. I like a lot of them. I still love that mechanic. But, I just recently turned on my Xbox or my PlayStation, and there's always like new mini golf game for $5. and you're like, oh, it's the same type of thing with power ups. We get it.
Yeah, yeah.
But sometimes I'm a sucker for them. But when I saw this and was excited to check it out for the show, because it's a mixture of things, it's roguelike and it's deck building with mini golf. So that's a really cool combo. Yeah.
All right.
So it's kind of, that you can move the camera all around the ball and you can like aim and shoot the ball and whatever. Like, I don't know what perspective. We've never talked about perspective of golf games, but you're not like having a little character. It's just like you're looking at the ball and hitting it. Which, by the way, I do like characters in these golf games, but whatever. So yeah, you're hitting the golf ball. I guess it has a little robot face on it too, doesn't it?
The ball does?
Yeah, it's kind of like a super golf ball because as you get cards in the game, you can upgrade the golf ball's abilities. And that is basically like, so you're doing a regular course, and let's say the hole is like the actual, hole at the end is like up on a hill somewhere and hard to reach. You'll need a card that is like lob shot, right? And so when you start each putt, you get 3 cards. I think it's always 3. And basically that's, from your hand, like any other deck builder. And then, one's like a super shot, one's like a lob shot. Then there's all these special things. And so like the lob shot you'll need, obviously, to get to that like ending. Or like there's like, special power-ups throughout the course and you want to get to them. They're like in hard to reach places. There's like a curve shot, it goes all the way around the corner so you can get it. There's like gold to pick up. And then there's like a vending machine. You can buy other stuff in the vending machine. So it's a really interesting mix of things.
But that sounds fun.
Yeah, it really, really works. Like it's just like super relaxing, and I'm always doing a little bit of management with my cards. And then I'm always like, risk reward. Like, do I go for this crazy thing to hit with my golf ball with and get? Like there's like a crystal you can hit and it gives you like new cards and stuff. Or do I like just go for the hole, And it's just relaxing and cute and short review. I like it a lot.
I mean, this sounds really cool. This sounds definitely like something that I would play. I think it's PC only right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm playing it on Steam.
Yeah, okay.
And it works really good with a mouse. So, I mean, I'm sure they'll make it work with a controller at some point. But yeah, like hyperspeed, jetpack. The jetpack's weird because you actually like control the jetpack. So once you hit that, once you hit the golf ball, you can like, activate the jetpack.
Mm-hmm.
And so the golf ball like just like goes up in the air, and you've got to like plan when it comes down.
It sounds a little bit like Kirby's Dream Course. Did you ever play Kirby's Dream Course?
I felt a little bit of feelings of Kirby in this.
Oh man, Kirby's Dream Course is a game that like nobody ever talks about, but what a great game. It was basically golf.
Yeah.
But the ball was Kirby, and it's kind of, I mean, not exactly, but kind of like you're describing, where, you would pick up power-ups, and then if you were on a hill and you didn't want to keep rolling down, you could turn Kirby into like Spiky Ball and he would stop. Or you could do Fireball and he would like go up a hill, defying gravity. Like, it kind of sounds like you're in the same basket there.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot, it is similar to that, but there's also the stacking of cards, which is one of the cooler things. I don't know if this happens in many deck builders. Can you stack cards usually in deck builders? Like say you have an ability and then make it stronger by doing another card?
Sometimes it's not very common, but I have seen it before. Yeah,
because that is really fun. So especially like the power shot. So if you have 3 power shots, you can use them all together, right? You're like loading them up.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
Then it'll make it super fast. Or as they show a GIF on the Steam page, you can do like inflate and make the ball huge. But if you have like 3 or 4 of them, you can like keep doing it. So it makes the ball super huge.
Interesting. What good is a huge ball?
I haven't used a huge ball. There's the name of the podcast. As soon as I said it. No, I haven't used it in that capacity yet, but I'm sure it has something. Because again, each course has like a different hook, So sometimes they want you to use certain power-ups.
Sure, okay.
But I don't know, man. It's so simple and chill. And by the way, it's early access, I just realized.
Okay.
Which I know makes you run away.
I'm happy to wait. I will wait for it to come to console when it's finished.
But there's a lot of updates coming, and there's a roadmap on the Steam page, so check it out. And if you buy it, because we got the code for purposes of talking on the podcast, but if you buy it, it's only $14 right now on Steam. So
that's not bad.
I mean,
that's the price of 1 month of Game Pass.
Oh, there you go. And this one, you'd want to pick the game because this is the game you want.
This would be the one I want. Right on.
What a perfect thing. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I just realized they do have full controller support. So you can use the controller too.
There you go. Excellent. That sounds like a winner.
It is a winner. Golfie's a winner. I won the golf.
Golfie is a winner.
Yes.
All right. Excellent. All right. Well, we're going to keep it going. I feel like This is going to be, hopefully I'm not going to be proven wrong, but I feel like this is going to be a mostly positive show today.
Ooh, because it was mostly negative last time,
Mostly
right?
negative
Yeah.
last time, but I think this time I'm going to start off with Dungeons of Dreadrock. This, I believe, got its start on either PC or mobile, but it just came to the Switch recently, and the developer personally sent me a code. So thank you very much. I got to say, this game needs a better trailer because when I watched the trailer, it did not communicate to me. That's going to be a theme on the show. It did not communicate to me what the game was actually like. And if I had known what it was like, I would have been more excited about it and I would have played it sooner. But because the trailer was kind of a bummer, I was like, I don't think this looks like my jam. I stayed away from it. And I only got into it when I absolutely had to. And I'm like, oh, this is not at all what I thought it was. Oh, this is actually great. This is delightful. I wish the trailer had been better. I would have played it so much sooner. So what is it? It is a top-down, kind of like a Zelda, 16-bit Zelda sort of perspective, isometric, where you play a girl. Her brother has been sent into a dungeon to defeat the evil overlord at the bottom of the dungeon. It's 100 floors down, and he's like, no, 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 I'm going to do it. I know no one's ever come back before, but I'm going to come back. Wait for me here at our campsite, and I'll be back. And he doesn't come back. Of course he doesn't come
Of
back,
course,
right?
it doesn't come back.
Of course he doesn't come back. So she's like, all right, I'm not going to let my brother just be dead meat at the bottom of this dungeon. I'm going to go in after him. And so you go into the dungeon, and it's 100 floors, and each floor is exactly just one screen. Like they're very small.
Oh,
You can see it's exactly the size of the Switch or PC, whatever. So you just like it's like each one is like a little mini puzzle. And I think that what's great about this is the guy who developed this has done so many different kinds of puzzles and they're kind of testing you in so many different ways. Like each floor feels like a different sort of a thing. Sometimes it's about reflexes where you have to like maybe you're in a room full of like 10 skeletons and the only way to get through them is to like time your sword swipes perfectly. Sometimes it's about careful observation where maybe there's like a pattern in the room and the door is locked. You got to figure out what the pattern in the room is. Sometimes it's about the ones I really love the most are like the meta puzzles where he does a lot of things that you're not used to people doing in a game like this, where sometimes you'll have to go back to a floor you've already been to, and sometimes it gets like fourth wall or meta. Like for example, there was one room where there was a minotaur in the room, and you're not strong enough to beat him. Like you got to stay away from him. And you like I'm looking in the room, I'm like, fuck, there's like nothing in here. What am I supposed to do? I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. And then I'm like, okay, well maybe I just leave because this game doesn't give you the sense of like it's not an open world. You can't go anywhere. It's like level by level by level. It
hmm.
feels very segmented and partitioned. But I went back in the door that I came in just on a lark, and I actually went out of the room, went up the stairs to the floor that I was just on, the puzzle I had just completed, and the Minotaur followed me up there.
Oh
And
shit.
there was something in the other room that I used to kill him. So like that was the puzzle was recognizing that there was nothing
Oh,
there and kind of like using like all your environment, bringing him back to another level and doing something different. So like he ended up like I don't know, falling through a pit or something, and then it took you back to the level that you were just at. So like doing that kind of like lateral thinking was really cool. So like I feel like the puzzles are great. Um, I really enjoy them a lot. And I'm not the smartest guy around, so sometimes I do get stuck on puzzles. And I really appreciate that in every floor you can either have no hints, or you can have hints after 5 minutes, or you can just turn hints on and get them right away. So he gives you the power to choose for yourself. And so
mm.
I've been playing with hints on after 5 minutes, and I'm down to like floor. I want to say floor 35, and I've only used hints maybe like twice out of 35 levels. So for me, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're very well done puzzles. I feel like the controls are great. I feel like the graphics are very cute, little pixely graphics, lots of details. The bit by bit design of the puzzles is great, and that the meta stuff is great. I mean, it's just a great game. I think it's a great game. I really like it a lot. I definitely recommend it if you want something for the Switch. It feels like a perfect fit for the Switch. Bite-sized dungeons, great action, clever puzzles. I mean, what's not to like? It's a total winner.
Wow, 2 winners in a row. And also, as I'm looking at it, yeah, the trailer does not do it any justice because
Oh, the
it's
trailer's
really story
bad.
based. And doesn't really talk about the thing you just said, which is the coolest part, which is an interesting take on puzzles.
Yeah.
It says in the description is 1980s home computer RPGs revived in kind of a different way, which is an interesting way to look at it.
I don't know that I would even describe it like that. That's kind of a weird description. I don't really think that's the best put to put forward. And the puzzles that they show in the trailer are like when you're playing the game, they make sense, but when you're looking at them in the trailer, they don't really communicate what's going on in the game. I feel like if I was this guy's PR manager, I would kind of do it all over because I think honestly, great game. I'm loving this game. I think it's a total winner. Everything about it is really really well done. So I feel like the PR is where it needs to up its game a little
Right.
bit.
But I will say this in their defense that, and it's kind of a tangent, is that I do remember old school 1980s RPGs because I played all of them because I'm an old person.
Sure.
And there was a lot of things that like Ultima 7 and stuff, and even before that, there were a lot of games that did feel a little more open-ended and you didn't know what the answer was. So I
Sure.
would say in my defense, what the thing you just described is very kind of a 1980s thing to be like, well, you know, this is, you know, it's not as straightforward as like Zelda. I think that's maybe what they're going
I mean,
for.
I think you're entirely right, but I think the problem is that I don't think a lot of people would understand what they even mean by that, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
there's so many people these days where if you're not a crusty old dude like you and me who lived through those days, if you go up to somebody today and be like, "Oh, it's like a 1980s RPG," they're like, "What does
Yeah.
that even mean? Pixel graphics, I guess."
It's for old people reference, is what it is, maybe.
Yeah, and I feel like this game would appeal to anybody. I don't think you need to be an old guy to like this game. I think anybody would like this game.
Yeah.
So I like going the nostalgia angle. I think is the wrong track, and the trailer was bad. But don't listen to the PR. This game is fantastic. I think it's really good. No complaints about it whatsoever. I think it's a total winner.
Also,
Dungeons of Dreadrock.
sorry, Dungeons of Dreadrock. Also, it's $4 on Steam. I don't know how much it
Oh
is
my
on
God,
Switch.
$4. Jesus, what a deal!
Yeah.
What a deal! Oh my God.
And the developer, I got to give the name out because it's ridiculous. Professor Dr. Christoph Minnemeyer.
Yes, that is right. Yes,
So,
Christoph.
all right.
There we go. Let's kick it on back to you, Carlos, for Metal. Is it Metal Hellsinger or Metal Hellsinger?
Metal Hellsinger.
Metal Hellsinger. Okay, tell us all about Metal Hellsinger.
Man, this is another reason I play games to find new experiences. And as I always say, I'm usually bored recently or tired of the same old. And this is new.
Okay.
So, which is really cool. There's a negative. There's a couple negatives at the end, but in general, it's a positive review. We got the code, I believe, and also we had to like figure out it was like a beta or press beta or something. Finally figured that out. Got to play it. It is first person shooter / melee game, fighting demons, but all of it's on rhythm to music.
Like there's a bass beat going on?
Yes. And also it's obviously in the name metal, and it has all these amazing like musicians involved. And I remember looking at the homepage for it, and people like from System of a Down, I think Surge is involved in this.
Oh, okay. So like actual like famous musicians.
Famous heavy metal, like metal stuff.
Okay. All right.
Like Arch Enemy, Black Crown, all this stuff is Soilwork, and a lot of them which I've heard, and I love metal. Like I love like just like kind of losing myself in it. And so yeah, I was afraid if this works. I think it's still early. I don't think it's finished yet. But I would say that mostly it works, and also it's like just super cool to have this kind of concept. You're like a demon person, and you're fighting other demon people. You've seen that part before, and it feels like Doom, right? So it feels like Doom a lot of times. But the difference is, and they give you a bunch of training missions in the beginning where you know the monsters aren't attacking you. You go up to the monsters, and in the middle of the screen, there's all these like this little beat pattern going on, like all the time.
Like a visual indicator?
Thing, and you can hear it, you know,
Okay,
like
okay.
lightly. And by the way, anybody playing this, do the calibration in the beginning because you need to calibrate to that. It's like when you push the button, it helps when you calibrate. So anyway,
okay.
Yeah, they kind of like they make sure that when you're hitting on the beat, it's the right time, you know. So anyways, that's just kind of going. But then by doing well in the game, you unlock more parts of the song as you're like going through the level. So the song gets progressively more badass. Which is such a cool idea, right? Like it feels like those rhythm games we played, where like as you're being successful, you know, you hear more of the song. I've played games like that. I can't.
Yeah. Every music game is like it's like you do worse, you get less, you do better, you get more.
Yeah,
Kinda,
yeah.
Supposed to like pump you up and get you into the zone, right?
Right, and this does it because it's pumping you up with metal. You know, you're like metal music is happening if you kick ass, and even like so you like I have a sword, right? That's my favorite thing, of course. There's a lot of guns and stuff as well, but I'm using the sword for most things. And like, so as I swing it, I have to swing it on the beat to hit the monster with it. If I don't, I can still hit the monster, but it doesn't hurt him as hard. And if you hit them on the beat, it hits them really hard. And you can tell the difference with the visual too, right? Like if you hit them without the beat, it kind of like goes, thunk, you know, and it still gives them damage. So you're not like just failing if you hit monsters off beat, but you're doing much better if you do it on beat.
Let me ask you a question. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is interesting, and this reminds me of the other music game that came out a while that was Crypto the Necrodancer.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
that had kind of a similar idea where you needed to move on the beat. So I guess so you first person is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, first person, just like Doom, but with melee and, you know, shooting.
So in my mind, I'm trying to imagine like, are people moving to the beat, or is it just like regular first person? Everybody's running around, but you're supposed to only attack on the beat. Like,
Yeah, it's
like
that.
are things synced or no?
No, nothing's synced. But what's interesting is some things on the board are synced. Like there's power ups on the board, and let's say you pick up a power up that gives you like times, you know, 5 something, right? The power ups are all moving on the beat, like on the board, which reminds you of Crypto Necrodance or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But then the monsters aren't. I mean, this is a first person game. Like they're not going to.
So
do
everything's
that.
moving around. So like for
Yeah.
example, if you turned the sound off and you just looked at the visuals, it's not like everybody's like stepping to the beat. Like it would just look like
No.
a regular first person shooter.
Yeah.
But the music implementation is just the audio.
Yeah, and to that point, if you can't, if you want to actually do that, you could just do that, right? So say you're impaired and you can't hear it, right? You could
Right.
do it visually. You really could. Like they do a really good job of like as you swing, there's so many visual cues that you hit it. So it's kind of for a couple different types of people as well. But
Okay.
I think I mean, yeah, the metal is so fun to listen to. You get to like the singing line, you know, if you like kicking ass enough. There's like instant kill buttons that you can do when you like weakened enemies enough. But you have to do those instant kill buttons on the beat.
Gotcha.
Because I've done them before where I did, and you know, I did it off the beat, and they were like, "No, you don't get to instant kill that guy because you didn't do it on the beat." Yeah, light story. I'm not sure how much they're going to go into story. It's just more like demon fighting other demons
Sure.
for reasons.
What else do you have to say?
Yeah, you don't have to say much because it's fun as shit. And there's like a skeleton, like a skull head that you can shoot out like, you know, stuff from and blow up walls and power up. And there's like 2 pistols and a big, huge gun. So there's a lot of different kind of ways to attack. But think about it. How smart, and I was going to say ingenious, but like to even like guns and stuff to get that gameplay right, but then also to get it right with rhythm. You know, it's not like it works 100% of the time, even though I calibrated it, but it works, you know, really close to 100% of the time.
Right.
Because it's like, it's on me that I missed it on that beat. But man, I can't speak highly enough of it. I really, really dig it. There's only one con.
What is that?
And there's a voiceover, and guess who the fuck does it?
I have no idea.
Walks away from podcast studio. Come on, who the fuck is it? Of course,
Is it Nolan North? I don't know who.
no, it's Troy Baker. He does everything.
Oh Jesus, Troy Baker.
Son
That was
of a
going to be the
bitch.
second guess. Troy Baker. Jesus.
If he ever hears this podcast, he probably thinks I hate him. I just want other people to work. All right,
Yes, let's get other people.
Other
wasn't
people
Troy
to
Baker the
work.
doof that was doing NFTs too? That was him.
maybe I don't know.
What a
I just
doofus.
it's a light part. I think I just looked it up and it was just like some narrative stuff that he's doing, but still, like I just don't. I love it being. It's like such a cool indie weird.
Let's make
thing.
some room for other people in the industry, shall we? They don't always have to be Nolan North or Troy Baker. It can be other people.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is a huge thumbs up for me, and I really, really like it. And I've never played another game that has this mechanic. Like never. I mean, have you played something like this?
Yes, there are a couple.
Okay, what ones?
I don't know because I'm old. My memory doesn't work
okay.
anymore. But Crypto the Necrodancer for sure. But in terms of first person,
No,
I
mean
don't know.
first
I don't know about
person.
first person. There was just another one recently but it was also a top down one. It came out like maybe 2 weeks ago. Same kind of idea. Move around, attack to the beat. But again, it was top down. It wasn't first person. So
Well, no, I don't think we have them.
yeah, there's maybe the first person one. I think all the rest have been top down or something like that. So you might be right. Might be the first with that perspective. So
Because it's almost like it's difficult to. I know it's got to be one of the first, if not the first, because it was almost a little difficult, kind of a con, to get into that, right? Like you're doing 2 parts of your brain at once. You're
Yeah.
running and gunning, and like you said, other games do it like on the beat. No one's moving on the beat. You're just fucking running and gunning and not trying to die. And especially if you're getting hit, you know. I finally started dying at the end.
do the enemies attack on the beat or they attack whenever?
They attack whenever it's just a regular fucking game.
Interesting.
So
That's
it's
so
like-
interesting to me that only you
Yeah.
get bonuses from the beat, but nothing else seems to be tied to the beat. That's very
No.
fascinating.
Yeah. And I think that I was so hard like trying to get it on the beat that I didn't play just as like a regular game. But I wonder if I just do that for our level, if I would just like eat shit. You know what I mean? And
Like you
like,
would be so weak, or like your attacks would be
yeah.
so ineffective, or something.
Yeah. I think it might be that way. But it was really fun because I'd be running around and in my head going like, chun, 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 you know, and I would actually like, yeah, I was doing an inner dialogue.
Aren't you doing that all day, every day anyway, though, Carlos?
I'm doing it right now.
You're doing it right now.
Here's Brad's review of a board game for Switch. Chun, 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 chun.
Yeah,
When will this be over? When will this be over? Just kidding. And now let's go to Brad's board game review game on Switch.
Ironic that you brought that up.
Really?
Good segue, though. Good segue. Yeah, a good segue, by the way.
Hold on. Chun, 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 chun.
When is he going to stop talking?
About the Switch
This is so boring.
board games.
You were so close. It's on the Xbox instead of the Switch. But basically, I'm playing Ogre, OGRE, from Steve Jackson Games.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard of this?
I know this game. Steve Jackson's one of my favorite board games of all time.
Yeah, he knows his board games. So, like, respect to Steve Jackson. So this is an adaptation of apparently a really famous board game that he's done. I've known about it for a long time, and I knew that there was a video game adaptation coming. It feels like it's been in the works forever, and it's finally out. So what is the premise? The premise is, I don't know, near future, whatever. There's a whole like backstory, and I kind of didn't care about it. The point is, there's an asymmetrical battle going on. The ogre is like a giant tank. It's like a huge monster tank. And then on one side is the ogre, and on the other side is a bunch of real small, hovercraft and small tanks and jeeps and infantrymen, and it's like an asymmetric fight. So like you have to try to take down the ogre with your little dudes, or you're the ogre and you're taking down the little dudes with your giant tank. Cool idea. I love that idea. That is awesome. I absolutely do not like this game at all, though. I don't think it's Steve Jackson's fault. I think it is the fault of the people who brought it to video game consoles. So the game looks like the board game, which number one is a problem, because if you're going to bring it to electronic medium, I want you to take advantage of it. I'm not saying you have to like turn it into a first-person shooter that works on the beat, but like you need to put in some fucking graphics. Like, I mean, it looks, the tanks you're moving around looks like board game pieces. The board looks like a hard copy board game board with hexes and stuff. It's fucking boring to look at. It's just really boring. And I really wish they had done, and turn them off if you want, but like cool animations or like, close-ups or a zooming camera or something just to kind of jazz it up a little bit. It's really boring to look at. So that's number one. Also, the UI is absolutely bonkers bananas. I don't know what they were thinking. It's like they had never ever played a strategy video game before, and some of the things that are very common in how strategy board game or video games work, they just are doing their own thing. Like it's like it takes an unpredictable number of clicks to confirm an attack on an enemy. So like you're looking at a board game strategy, turn-based strategy. Here's the tank, here's your tank. You want to select your guy, you want to attack a guy. Not only is the attack backwards in this game, where you select your target first and then you select your attackers afterwards, which is opposite from every other game in existence. Okay, maybe there's a reason for that. I get it. But like you have to click on this thing, click another thing, click your stick to move like the focus of where the game is looking at, and you go through a couple menus and then you click again. It's like 5 clicks to attack, and it's like, dude, that is way too many attacks, way too many clicks. You know what I mean? Like it's just really strange. There were a lot of just really, really bizarre things about it. Like the UI was really clunky, didn't make a lot of sense, was not intuitive at all. Certain parts of the game I just was not understanding. Like the tutorial was really terrible. I just overall, I feel like there's a good game in there waiting to come out, but I need them to like really understand that when you're doing an adaptation, you need to like make different choices, right?
Yeah.
Add some graphics, add a little bit of flash. You really got to work on the tutorials. You really got to work on the interface. Don't try to reinvent the wheel unless you have an absolute rock solid reason for doing so. I don't think they have a reason for doing so here. And it just doesn't work. Like it's just really confusing. I struggled with the menus, and I was out after like maybe 20 minutes. I'm like, this is nothing but frustration to play, and it doesn't need to be this frustrating. And I just feel like this is not how you do it, folks. This is absolutely not how you do it. So
it sounds like, they just said, hey, here's the board game, and we're not really going to do much to it. Or they again just translated it to what it normally would be in the board game into clicks or something.
Yeah, it was just really poor, and it was hard in ways it shouldn't have been hard, and it just wasn't. It was really slow, extremely slow, like really slow. I mean, slow to the point that it was just kind of intolerable. And I realized that maybe this is a strategic, think about it kind of video game or board game, but you got to like speed things up a little bit for like when you're playing. I mean, there's just no reason to not take advantage of everything that a console can do,
Right.
and I feel like they're just not doing that. So it was just like I just couldn't put up with it.
You were playing it in your head. You were going chin 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 chin.
When will this be over?
By the way, okay. Before we leave that, which sounds like a miss, Steve Jackson, one of my favorite, board game, I guess creators, publishers, whatever.
World renowned, dude. He's like a superstar in the board game.
He did GURPS. Didn't he work on GURPS? I believe.
I believe he did. Yeah. I think he did.
So this is a quick tangent. He made this game. Him and his team, I'm sure, back in the day when I was young. But now I just learned there's a 6th edition out there, so you can still buy it. It's called Car Wars.
Oh yeah, dude. I've heard of Car Wars.
Oh, you ever play it?
I've never played it, but I've seen it a million times. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you 2 stories about it real quick. One, it's a great the board games where you literally have a map and you're going hex to hex or whatever, and you're like placing down your little miniatures.
Oh yeah.
And Car Wars Classic is the one I had. It was the original Car Wars, and it had like these little paper cutouts and stuff. And there was like just similar to the Star Trek game. There was like a little character sheet with your car, and your car had all these like damage points and stuff on it. So like it literally was like mathematical. And
there's a system.
There's a system, and also like there's damage points to your left side and your right side, and you really like calculated all of it out. And for some reason, I thought it was really fun, and people still play it like in tournaments out there and stuff. Anyways, there's a new version. They made a video game version, but I don't think it's not the same feel. But what I remember always to this day is I was playing it, and there is a character inside your car, but generally you're just playing as the car, right? Driving through and shooting and trying to destroy each other with cars. I remember this one time my friend destroyed my car. I would not give up. And I looked up the rules to have like me as the character get out of the car. And then like I had a gun. And I remember like getting out of the car, and he still like has a good car and is driving around the map. And I got out of my car that was like burning and on fire. And I like went into a nearby building and was like holed up in the building, like shooting at him. Like that is a vivid memory of mine.
That's pretty amazing. That is pretty amazing.
I think I lost at some point, or I think we might have actually stopped the game, and they're like, "Time out. No one's gonna win."
Stalemate.
Yeah, because the car couldn't smash through the wall. I think that was it actually.
You couldn't kill the car, and the car couldn't get through the wall.
Yeah. And I was just kept shooting at it, and at some point it's like, Carlos, this is no fun anymore. Stop. Play the game normal.
Win. That's a win.
I think I
killed
won.
the game out of boredom. That's a win.
I think I won. That was my fun little tangent.
Excellent. Car Wars. Car Wars. All right. Let me. We're not talking about Car Wars. Let me talk about one more. The only other bummer game of the show for me is called Moo Lander. MOO, like the cow. Moo Lander. Again, this is another trailer where I feel like it did not accurately portray what to expect from this game. Or maybe that's on me. Maybe it's on the trailer. We'll see. I don't know. Basically, it's a 2D. It's an indie game where you play an alien in a little UFO. And you have to fly around. So what I thought I was going to be doing was like flying around these cool little environments, zapping cows, doing tractor beams on cows, and kind of just like, action-y sort of thing. And that is in the game, but actually it's more of a Metroidvania, way more of a Metroidvania than I was expecting. And I just don't really enjoy those games very much. There's a couple that I really like, but in general, I'm not a big fan of the genre. And this one, right from the jump, some puzzles that you're doing to like unlock gates, and you're trying to like figure out how to get past these locked gates. And there's like a lot of systems, and so you're killing guys to get level ups, to unlock more powers for your UFO. And there was no map, and every environment looks kind of like the same. So like I would open up a door, and the camera would pan over to show, oh, you figured out this puzzle, and the camera would go zoom, and then here's the door you unlock. Go get there, and I'd be like, bro, I got no idea where that's at. That looks exactly like everything else around here. I got, there was a couple points, and this was like at the beginning of the game where I was like, just like going in circles trying to figure out, okay, which way was I supposed to go? Like, I don't remember where. And definitely needs a map for sure. But just like number one, on me, I don't like Metroidvanias that much. But number two, the graphics needed like some specificity if you're going to not have a map, otherwise have a map. And in terms of the combat and the movement, it felt very clunky and mushy to move around. Like I was constantly getting hit by things in the environment, like spiky plants or little monsters shooting at me, where I would feel like I dodged it, but then I'd still get hit, right? So like the damage box on my guy was kind of weird. The motion of it felt a little like just unspecific. Like I don't feel like I was kind of stumbling my way through flying this flying saucer. It didn't feel nimble and precise. It felt like I was constantly taking more damage than I wanted to take just because I was having a hard time flying around the map. And then I got to the first boss, which was a cow, which had all sorts of spikes and energy beams and stuff. And it was like kind of a damage sponge right at the beginning. And I'm like, this is not really a great way to start the game. Like I hate this first boss and I feel like it's already kind of a chore. So I bounced pretty quickly. I was not in the market for Metroidvania, full disclosure, but also it just feels kind of loose, kind of untuned. And like, I just wasn't going to put the time into this one. I mean, you're not going to give me a map and playing this thing doesn't feel great. So yeah, I bounced. Moo Lander for me was a miss.
Moo, you mean boo?
Boo Lander. Oh, I see what you did there.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw that come by up on in the store somewhere, and I was like, oh, I'll pass it. So
Yeah. So, oh well. All right. Back to you, Carlos. Now, you talked about this morning as we were like DMing back and forth. I've heard of this game, and I've heard some people say it's one of their favorite games of the year so far, which is weird to me because I didn't know anything about it. And once I looked into it after you mentioned it, I realized it was early access PC only, which completely explains why I don't know anything about it. Because when that comes up on my radar, I immediately take it off my radar.
yeah.
But a lot of people are loving this game, and it seems like maybe you are too. Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, so this is a very, very simple game. It's probably the game I played the most, even in my funk, because it's a relaxing, super addictive game. And it is, I don't know why it's called Vampire Survivors, by the way. I think the vampire part is silly because essentially you play as a bunch of different heroes and you fight monsters. So I think they should.
There's no vampires?
I mean, some of them are vampires, I guess, but you wouldn't even know. It's not about that. Like, this could be called like endless like fantasy RPG or not RPG but it could be like endless roguelike dungeon game, like there's no reason why they have to call it vampires.
Okay.
I don't know.
All
Or
right.
survivors actually, but I guess you are surviving. So what it is top down old school graphics, super pixely graphics. And you can either be a few different characters in the beginning. You can only be one. You unlock characters with money, blah, blah, blah. And again, top down, think like old school arcade games like
Sure.
Robotron. It's actually closest to Robotron,
Okay.
which is
Robotron
a
2084.
reference that, people don't know maybe.
I mean, that's if you're a really, really old person. I mean, what else? Smash TV, maybe,
Smash
or like
TV.
what else is?
Yeah, that's right.
What else is? We got to get a more current reference for that type of game because those are all still really old.
I know,
references.
that's a 90s
There's
reference.
got to be some. So are we talking top-down twin-stick shooters? What we're
Top
talking?
down, not twin stick shooter at all. No. Top
No,
down.
okay, not a twin-stick shooter.
Monsters and enemies coming at you all the time and you trying to survive. Right? That's the main thing. Which
Okay.
again, Robotron and other games, you're actually like actively attacking with buttons. This game, there is no buttons, and that's
No
probably why it's
buttons.
brilliant. It is an auto attack game, but you control the character and move it around the screen. So
Auto attack in the sense that you're shooting, or is this melee? Is it like bump into people
let
melee?
me finish.
Or?
Let
Okay,
me
all right.
finish.
I'm just so curious about this game.
I know
Carlos.
he's
Tell
like,
me
I
more.
need to know now.
I need to know now.
So the first character you get has a little whip, kind of like a Castlevania style. And again, it just periodically is going to, regularly swing, and whatever it's near, it'll hit and kill. And then it will, it has a cooldown, right? And so you're just kind of running around, letting it do its thing.
Is it auto target or do you have to aim it?
No, you aim kind of in a direction.
Okay.
This game is almost like so old school, no polish, no like effort into like making it user friendly really in a way besides that you just run around. But it's supposed to be that way. It's like you get better, true sense of the word roguelike. As you kill monsters, you pick up these little blue orbs. The blue orbs get you experience points. As you get to a certain level, you get to unlock new abilities. One of them would be like a little ring around you kills enemies. The next one is you move faster. And you always have three choices, by the way, when you level up. So
Sure.
you're choosing your path,
And you said this is roguelike, correct?
Roguelike, and the fact
Okay.
that once you do finish a run and you die finally, you go to the main screen, there's a store, you buy things, right, with your gold. And
Gotcha.
you buy things that are permanent upgrades.
Permanent upgrades.
Permanent
Okay, good.
upgrades at the store. The things in the game as you level up are just for that run.
Gotcha.
So that's the
Gotcha.
flow. And again, as you're attacking with these new abilities you got, like so one's like a knife, that just like goes in whatever direction you're in. One's like magic spell that blows up an area that's not near you, just kind of randomly. There's lots of different styles. It's not just all coming off your person. Does that make sense?
Yes, exactly.
But the number one thing you're controlling is moving around and not dying, or being smart about like, I want to aim this way because I need to kill these monsters. Now I'm going to go down and escape monsters, and then I'm going to aim to the right and get these monsters. And of course, there's magic, melee, but there's also ranged, right? And so sometimes you're just shooting from far, and you upgrade those abilities. Well, anyways, at some point there's like only 5 levels. One level, it's super long. I haven't beaten it yet. I feel kind of bad, but I feel like I'm really close. It's just a huge endless forest. So you're just running around in any direction. It feels like it goes on forever. The map's probably like, doesn't end. It kind of wraps around probably. And you're kind of just going around, and like every once in a while, besides monsters just randomly always coming at you, it'll slow down, it'll pick up. Waves of bats will just fly by, and you have to like watch out because they could all hit you. Then they'll surround you. Like a bunch of plants at some point just surround you. And you've got to like survive enough until the plants dissipate, and then you can get out. And at the end, I think of the very first board, which I'm really close to the end, they just throw like 8,000 skeletons at you. They're like, I hope you find a way out of this. And it's your duty to do basically like get the right path of upgrades so that you can fight through a chunks of enemies at once, right? To like, make it out of there. What I heard, and by the way, I heard this 2 things from my barista, Owen, who I go to get Starbucks from. He loves the game too, and he was saying that 2 things are interesting. The second level is a library, and it's most people's favorite level because there's actually structure to it. So instead of the first one, which is kind of annoying, you're just kind of going in any direction. The second one, you're like, there's hallways. Right.
Okay. So more focused to the play.
More focused, then you know how to maneuver away from the enemies. This one, you're like, I don't know what's going to come out around the corner because it could just be a wave of something.
Right.
But I think they're doing that to make you better, And it is really, as you get faster in the level, it's so relaxing. I'd never listen to music in the game or even the sound effects, really. I just kind of put them a little up. I just put my own music on and I just zone the fuck out. And you pick up chests, and you get stuff from the chest, and you upgrade. And also, Owen was saying, shout out to my barista Owen, that you can evolve the weapons later. So you get a weapon, then you can evolve the weapons. There's some min-maxing there. It is fucking great. The response on Steam is overwhelmingly positive. It's $3 on Steam. Fucking $3. It's fucking amazing.
I mean, this sounds like a very basic, simple formula that is probably just done really well. I mean, this sounds like a lot of other games I've played before. It doesn't seem like it's breaking new ground, but not to say that's a negative, in the sense that when you get something that's done really well or just executes really, really properly on the idea, that can be a great experience. I mean, this 100% sounds like something that I would love to play. I'm not going to play it on PC. But if they bring it to console like Xbox or something, I would pick it up in a heartbeat for sure.
Well, they'll have to, yeah. And I feel like you could improve graphics, you could do a lot of stuff, but it's not about that. It's just about the hook,
Right, exactly.
And I've seen stuff like this. Again, most of them you're actively shooting, which is actually more annoying for me because then I feel like I'm fucking up. But this one, I feel like I kind of min-max every spot where I should be because I'm just walking, It almost makes it easier in that way because you're like, the shooting's going to happen. If I pick the right upgrades, I should be okay. But I got to like literally just run around this guy because if I get hit by him a couple of times, I might be hurt. So
right. Yeah. It kind of puts your brain in a different space, right?
Yeah.
When we're more about like positioning and situational management rather than trying to line up a shot or something. Like when you get I have played some games similar to this where they take attacking out of your hands and you're really just managing your character. It feels different. Like your brain is doing a different thing.
Yeah.
And that is pretty appealing too. I dig what that concept is.
Yeah, I really like it. It does, again, go crazy all of a sudden because they just throw like tons of enemies at you randomly and you're like, oh my goodness, what's this going to be? But talk about your brain being like, what's the word? Just turned off, but also like,
in your flow state, right?
Flow state, not thinking about the world issues. It's like, no, I'm just thinking about how to get out of this skeleton barrage, and it is brilliant. It's like, it's quietly brilliant. That's what it is.
I mean, that sounds like a winner to me. Like, I love games that execute properly. This one sounds like it's got all the boxes checked. So like I said, I'm not going to play it on PC, but this sounds like 100% comes to Xbox or something or Switch or whatever. I'm all over it. So for sure.
I kind of play it every day. So
All right, Vampire Survivors. There we go. Okay, let me talk for a minute about Floppy Knights. This comes from Rose City Games, and I'm actually a really big fan of Rose City Games. They're these people in Portland, and they're kind of these quiet developers. They've made a lot of like low key indies, but I think I've loved basically every game they've put out, and this is no different.
Before you start,
So
before you
yeah,
start,
yeah,
I played it.
you did play Floppy
Yep.
Knights.
Because
Oh,
it's
good.
on
Okay,
Game Pass, I believe.
it is on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yes, excellent. Okay, good. I'll hit you up for your thoughts on it in just 1 second here. So shout out to Rose City Games. Like them very much. Floppy Knights. I will right off the bat say I hate the title. I think they need to change the title. It's a bad title because floppy is not something that generally has any positives associated with it. And Floppy Knights, I don't even know what that's even supposed to suggest. I understand why they chose it, because in the game you have a character who has a robotic arm, and you use floppy disks for people who know what those are still, to put those into your arm to activate your abilities. But I gotta say that's a bad title. I think you guys messed up on the title. So that's kind of weird from the get go. But once you get into the game, I think this is actually a really great game. It is a top down, or top down 2D turn based strategy deck builder. Not a roguelike, no roguelike anywhere in this game, which I think is fine. So you take a character who has this robotic arm, and she uses it to summon little plant creatures, little cutie plant creatures. The very first one you get is called, like, I don't know, Commander Thistle or something like that. You get like a little poison plant that spits poison. You get a little cactus that does area attacks. You get a little, I don't know, some kind of vegetable that shoots. He's got a bazooka, whatever. Like, it's all, I don't know why they chose plants, but it's all very cute. And you have these cute little cutscenes with these cute little characters, and you get inside the battles, and the battles are really well done. I wasn't sure what to make of it at first, but once I figured out how the system was working, I think it's actually pretty brilliant. You have a bunch of cards, and I think it's minimum 12 cards, maximum I think of 30, something like that. You pick and choose, and the thing that Floppy Knights does differently than other games like this is they map movement to the cards as well. So you get your characters down, you can summon them in certain spots. Once a battle starts, turn-based strategy, as I'm sure many people have played, in order to move your character, like, you have to have a card. If you don't have a card that says move on it, you can't move. So that kind of gives you some constraints, has to make you think a little bit more carefully about your moves, and sometimes you just get a bad hand, because again, this is a deck builder where you don't have any move cards, so that kind of puts you in a spot, right? You got to be a little more reactive. You got to think about what are you going to do if you can't move. But there's move cards, there's attack cards, and I think that movement part really puts a different spin on it.
Yeah.
The levels are pretty small. They are, quote unquote bite size, I think, and so you kind of go through them. They have secondary objectives, and I think just going into this game with this cute aesthetic and having this, I don't want to say it's too straightforward, because I don't think it's too straightforward. I think there's a lot of strategy here, but the system of cards to move, cards to attack, and every level is pretty small is a great formula. I was jumping in and I was doing a couple levels in a row, and I was really liking the pace of it. I think it's really well done and very cute. I do have one complaint about it, but other than that, I think it's a really great title if you like turn-based strategy, if you can also get past the title, which I think is really kind of off-putting to people.
Yeah.
Before I get to my negative, Carlos, what did you think of Floppy Knights?
Yeah, Floppy Disk Knights.
Yeah,
Even that makes more sense.
Disk Knights sounds better than Floppy Knights.
Oh yeah, Disk Knights. Yeah. I thought it was, it's overly cute, which what they're going for. The art style, I think it's pretty cool. I play games like this. I think we've all played games like this.
Sure.
I like the move, like you said, the moving mechanic actually helped a little bit. I don't know, for some reason I like that. And the main character being the one you don't want to lose, and then you have a bunch of little peon characters.
Exactly.
So again, it reminds me of like that was in Heroes of Might and Magic, actually. Like you had a main character.
And if the main character died, you lost the battle. But if you lost a flunky, it was no big deal.
Yeah. So I dig it. I mean, there's nothing much to say. I didn't play it for too long. It's that stage. I think I don't like the stage layout, because it reminds me of like some mobile games or something like that, where you go stage 1-1, stage 1-2. I kind of wanted more of a story type thing, because it starts with story. And by the way, like, really interesting representation, and like I felt like very a different take on things. Because did you already say this? But like the fantasy world aspect, I don't think you did.
No, I don't think I mentioned
like
that.
The mother is a magician, and you're into tech, and they're like, you're crazy. Like, it's weird to be into tech and like robots and stuff, when they're like, no, it's just magic all the time. You should be a magician.
Yeah, I thought that was
Um,
interesting. The mom is like this big buff magician blacksmith lady, and the
yeah.
dad is like this kind of like smaller little, I don't know, it looks like a book reading kind of a guy. I don't know. I'm sure I'm offending all sorts of people with that
No, no, no. It's
characterization,
just
but
it was a different take on like a family
yeah,
unit,
yeah,
which I
yeah. It was
liked.
cool. It was cool. I dug it too. I liked it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and but that's what I'm saying is then I was like, oh, stage 1, 2. So that's my biggest con is that I didn't like the layout of it.
I think that was okay for me. I
Hmm.
get what you're saying for sure. For me, it was okay because there were such quote unquote bite-sized levels, and I say quote unquote because my main problem with the game is that there's no mid-mission saves, right? And so I know that they intentionally designed them to be bite-sized. And I even talked to the developer on Twitter about this. I didn't realize I was a fan of his earlier games, and once I put together who he was and that he was at Rose City Games, I'm like, oh shit, I've actually played like all your games,
Hmm.
and I think you're brilliant, and I really like your work as a game developer. And I apologize because I meant to write that down for the show, and I
I'll look it
forgot
up.
his name. Yeah, look it up. I can't find it right now, but anyway, I am a fan of this guy. But the problem is that so turn-based strategy games are usually just slower games in general, right? Because everybody takes a turn. You got to think about what your options are. You got to check people's how far they can walk. You got to figure out, where can I move that's safe that I'm not going to get hit. Like there's a lot of thought that goes into a turn-based strategy. At least for me, I don't just jump into those and just do whatever. Like I really want to be fighting effectively. Don't lose any characters. Make sure I get all the secondary objectives. Like that's how I play these games, and I love them. I love these games. It's one of my favorite genres. So I was, even though these are smaller, again, quote unquote, bite-sized levels, they were, it wasn't like they were 5 minutes. I mean, it was taking me a little while to get through them.
Yeah.
Much smaller than other games. I mean, certainly far less time than like an XCOM level or something like that. But I got to a point in the game. I mean, I was at least a third or maybe even halfway through the game where I was feeling like I would get about halfway through the level and then I'd be like, okay, I feel like I've been here for like 10, 15 minutes. That's more time than I'm comfortable losing. And I feel like it's pretty easy to make a mistake in this game where I would often like miscalculate how far somebody could go, or I would think I had one extra movement card and then I didn't. And some of that was on me, and some of it I think could be a little bit tightened up in the game. Not a big criticism, but and so I would lose my commander. And if we said, like we said earlier, if you lose your commander, you lose the whole map. And so I would make like one wrong move, and as I would lose the commander, the whole thing would be down the level, whole thing would be down the drain, and then I would lose that 15, 20 minutes or whatever. And I don't know, maybe I'm just extra slow at these games, maybe I should be playing faster or whatever. But like, I reached out to him and I'm like, look, I love your game, I love Floppy Knights, I think it's great, but like, I can't handle losing that much time, and then one little mistake makes me lose all the progress. I really would love to have mid-mission saves so that if I'm not sure about the outcome of something, or if I'm not sure if I'm moving too far, if I'm not sure if this guy can reach me or not, I can save,
Yeah.
execute, and then if it's a wrong thing, then I'll just go back and reload. And I know some people think that's save scumming or whatever. Fuck you. I don't fucking care. We're not infinite beings. I'm not an eternal vampire living in my basement, right? Like I will die at some point, and I need to maximize the time I'm here on Earth. And throwing away 15 minutes because of one simple mistake does not feel like a good use of my time. So if it had mid-mission saves, I would recommend this to anybody. But I feel like that's something that they really need. And I realize these missions aren't the largest. They're not like 2 hour levels, but like even the time that you lose when you make a mistake to me feels like too much time
Yeah, I
to
agree.
give up. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So
Yeah, so that is a good criticism, and I think other than that, it's pretty damn good. And
yeah.
Will Lewis and Corey Warning are the co-founders
All right.
of Rose City Games. And by the way, they also did that Garden Story game.
Garden Story. They also did World Next Door. And the designer, I don't know that that's the designer's name. It might be someone
Oh, okay.
else. I'm not going to be able to find it in Twitter. I'm scrolling. Sorry, I apologize.
It's
But
okay.
he did Plunge as well. I loved Plunge so much. It was like a fantastic game. Anyway, apart from the no mid mission saves, I think Floppy Knights is a total winner. And I told them that if they ever implemented mid mission saves, I would be very happy to come back. I think I'm going to put it on pause right now because I got really kind of bent out of shape about losing so much time. But I would love to finish it. So
Okay, people check it out. I still think so too.
yeah. All right. So that's it for me, Carlos. That was going to be it for us, but you, sneaky guy that you are, brought a secret game to the
Secret
show. I have no
game.
idea what it is, so why don't you share your secret game with us, sir?
I was so depressed. I was just in general, but also like didn't have a game to play, wanted something to lose myself into. And lo and behold, my friend Lelena, friend of the show, messaged
Lelena.
me, "Hey, have you ever checked out Dragon Quest Builders 2?"
Oh,
And I was
okay.
like, "No, weirdly enough, I haven't. I did play Dragon Quest Builders 1. I liked a lot about it. It is very relaxing and escape into like a world of building and fighting monsters, and I love Dragon Quest in general. But I hadn't checked out the second one, and guess what? To bring it all back, it was on Game Pass.
Oh, shit.
Snap. But
Snap.
that is again one of the only ones I'm playing for the last couple of months that I, have been like really enjoying. So
Sure.
either way, and I would have probably like she would have told me about it, and if I didn't have Game Pass, it was like $15 on sale. That's probably what I would have done. Anyways, I'm like doubling down on that theory from earlier. So it's so relaxing, and I think we were both saying the same thing, her and I, that it's everything that one did but better. So like
Right.
interface is better. The starting of the game is so much better. The starting of the game is basically takes place after the first game ended, which is you beat a big monster at the end. And in this one, all the monsters are on this boat, and you're on the boat with them, and they're like regrouping. They're like, we're gonna build back better. Ooh,
Oh,
topical. Build back better. Is that the name of the
Yes.
podcast?
No,
No,
I
we don't
would.
do that.
No, the name of the podcast is. I already found it. I didn't tell you.
Okay,
It's a
you
secret.
found it.
It's gonna
Secret.
be. It's gonna be. Shout out to Owen is the name of the podcast.
Oh, nice. Okay, he'll like that. So, anyways, it's everything better. You're on the boat, kind of in the beginning, and I just like that concept. It like immediately brings you in. Like I think the first one, I don't know, I just couldn't get involved in the story very well the whole time, and it all felt very like all over the place. And I was building things and I didn't know why, but because it kind of made it like simple. You're on a boat. You got to like do things for these monsters. It's weird because we're helping the monsters. And then you do, of course, crash on an island at some point, like every fucking game. And the monsters are gone, but now you're like figuring out what to do on the island. What's interesting on top of that is you meet a monster type thing on the island, and he seems to be really nice. And he's like telling you to do stuff and like go to different islands and find things. And it goes back to that Dragon Quest Builders build stuff kind of gameplay.
Sure.
But it like at some point after you do like not the title card, but something like it, you do like a couple hours or an hour or something of building things and doing things. It goes to a cutscene and it says like, little did they know that monster that was being very nice or whatever was like the Lord of Destruction.
Oh.
So like I like that idea that we're probably like low key helping the monsters. If that's what it turns out to be, it'd be great if it was. So it's just more of the same, but better. I think all the interfaces are better. It just feels fun. Again, it hit that moment for me. I needed to like jump into something. It's like pure joy. It's so easy. You fight monsters, you get resources. There's a little bit of eating and, have to make sure your eating meter's up or whatever, your full meter. But
Sure.
It's so light. It's like not difficult at all. And so that's it. That's the kind of the short review, and I'm playing it still. But the funny part, and it was going to be a tangent, but I'm too tired for the tangent now. But
Too tired for tangents.
Too Tired for Tangents is a good podcast
That's
name
a good
as well.
title. That's a good title.
But we don't talk a lot about games, a dialogue in this podcast, and we should. Because so many times we spend like 20 hours, 30, 40 hours in a game, and there's all these little moments that you and I or no one talks about where the dialogue is ridiculous, right? We just take it for granted nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
We're like, oh, that person said that. That was fucking way out of character and doesn't make any sense. And why is that person talking about jam? But there's just so many little stories that happen in dialogue. So in this one, I was very focused on them because they're like, it's wrong. I think it's wrong. So you meet a woman and she's like a survivor of a shipwreck, Lulu, and you meet another guy and his name's Malroth. And this Malroth guy is like a warrior dude, and he runs along and like fights things for you, which I don't know if you ever played the first one. It had that same thing where you
I did. Yeah, I did play. Yeah.
yeah, they kind of like go alongside you and fight and stuff. So he's a douchebag and like really, really aggro. And as soon as we find the lady, her name's Lulu, she's annoying because she's like, I think we should do everything for me. Let's build me a castle. Let's build me this. And she's being annoying. But he's like, let's end her.
Oh, Jesus. What?
Yeah, he's like, we could just put her away, like back in the ship, or we could like, finish this off. He keeps doing all these innuendos about like getting rid of her, in quotes.
That's weird. That seems inappropriate. And I will say
It
also,
is.
I did not play Dragon Quest Builders 2, but I'm pretty sure that's the one where my wife was playing it and she got kind of pissed off at it in the middle because you get to an island of horny dudes and there's like one
Oh, that sounds on
woman
par.
and it got really like I mean I wasn't playing it, she was kind of telling me about it, but she said there was a lot of stuff that she felt like was pretty distasteful, a lot of innuendos and a lot of like I'm sure you can imagine what kind of shenanigans when you got an island full of horny dudes and one lady. So
Right.
she was like, I'm actually not liking this dialogue very much at all, and I'm not down with this. But she liked the game, but the story bits, I remember her being kind of not cool with
Dude,
at all,
it might
which I support. So.
it might make me nope out of this. Like, I can't believe that something like that would, but because you're getting a lot of dialogue in this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of talky.
The guy, by the way, Malroth, is a down about everything. Like, I'm like saying something about being positive, and he goes, I never got into these hopes and dreams people talk about. I was again, this is like to take out like dialogue pieces. That's like fucked up. Just like what? And then also, at some point, we find a magazine because he's like a builder. He's got all these books, and the girl goes, "Is that one of your messy magazines?"
Oh, geez.
And I was like, no. Why is that there? Why is that? So this,
this must be the same game. I think you're in for more of that stuff as it goes on.
Oh man, I like the gameplay so much that it's relaxing, but that dialogue stuff, oh my goodness.
Yeah, not cool.
Kind of weird.
Cool. Yeah.
Anywho, there's my mini review.
All right. Well, that's going to be the show. Before we do wrap the show, I did want to circle back. I did find the name of the developer who I really like. His name is Christian Scandariato. That's not one of the names you said, was it?
Nope, it wasn't.
Okay, so Christian Scandariato. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. Designed Plunge, where the thing is awesome. Says he is the game designer for Spooky Buns games and for Rose City games.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I like his work. I'm definitely a fan. If he gets that mid-mission save in there, I'm back in. But Christian does great work, so heads up and shout out again to Rose City Games, which I think also does great work. So that is going to do it for this episode. Another one in the can. Folks, as always, we would love to get your questions and comments. Hit us up, sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter @SoVideoGames, but you can hit us individually. Carlos, where are we directing your traffic this week?
TikTok, Carl Sordella, Rodela, and that's @Carl Sordella. And also, I just put up a sketch about PS5 being better than Xbox, or which one's better. And two characters are hashing it out. A lot of the stuff that we've said on this show is in that sketch, and I'm going to do more of them. This is just the first one, so go check that out.
It's a good skit. I just watched it. Check it out. As for me, it's my name on Instagram, on Twitter. It's BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. And that is going to do it for episode 286. Thank you all again for joining us here on the So Video Games podcast, and we'll see you next week. But in the meantime, this is bye from Brad.
And bye from Carlos. Just said it fast.